Guys, I'm here with the legend, Coach Bill Lawson Jr. He is the athletic director here at Petersburg High School, and he is the creator of Wave Coach's Corner. Coach Lawson, you've been around here in Petersburg for decades. You was here with your dad was here, and he's a legend in Virginia and throughout the country. And then you went on to follow in his footsteps and coach the Wave basketball team, and now you're the AD here at Petersburg High School. You have seen a ton of talent, Coach. How do you even process all that you have seen?
I mean, just in general, uh, it was great being around for one. And like you said, when it comes to talent, I've seen so many different moments where the talent just showcased. In my father's era, in my era, and then you had Rick Height, then you had Coach McClone, and then Ryan Massenberg. So it's been talent on each level. Just to come from Petersburg, it's been a lot of guys that some guys might not have played much here, but could have went to other schools and started. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can remember one team. I had a kid that was probably my seventh man on the team, where he could have gone to any other school in the area and probably been the main scorer.
Wow.
And during that time, I had some very good players. And that's the only reason why it was like that.
Yeah, definitely, Coach. I remember getting here in the mid early 2000s, and it was like watching the Showtime Lakers. I mean, it was like
Yeah,
three passes in the alley oop,
yeah.
uh, and things. We had several state runs and things of that nature. And again, it's just been a great immense success here in Petersburg. What gave you the idea to come up with Coach's Corner?
The one reason why I wanted to do it because I wanted the community to have a better relationship with the coaches. Coaches are people too. You know what I mean? So it gets to the point where you just see them on the sideline. You don't see some of the things that they do with the kids outside of the actual game. I mean, our coaches put in a lot of time, and people might think a coach in Petersburg gets paid a whole lot of money, but it's not true.
Uh-huh.
One thing I tell guys now, that if you want to go into coaching, you got to understand you're not going. If you want to be good, you're not going to get paid for the amount of time and effort that you put into it. If you want to be good, now if you just want to be an average coach, yeah, you can come in here, do some drills, work with the kids, and go home.
Yeah.
But if you want to be good, you got to put in some hours.
And how many hours is that, Coach? How many hours do you think the average coach puts in per week? I know most of the coaches here at Petersburg work a 35, 40-hour week. How many extra hours are coaches putting in to work with the kids?
I mean, just you're talking about practices and study hall. I mean, we don't have anybody to really do the study hall, so the coach is in charge of that too. So you talking about 2 hours after school going into the study hall where you're in charge of trying to make sure the kids do their homework at the time. Then you leave there and you can go from 2 to 3 hours just of practice. Then most of the time, sometimes coaches have to give rides home. And then not only you're not finished, then you go home, you try to spend some time with your family, but you're also thinking about your game plan. So you watch a film. In basketball, when I coached, you didn't get a lot of film from other localities.
Uh-huh.
So you had to actually go out and see the games. So now you're talking about scouting. So
Yeah.
you got to drive to wherever you're scouting at, spend that time watching the games, and then you got to go back, look at your notes, and decide how you're going to prepare for that team and be ready the next day to prepare for it. Because with basketball, you're talking about you play a game, you practice a day, then you play another game. So you don't have a whole week to prepare for a team. You got a couple of days, in between just to prepare. So, in every sport, it's different ways that you have to deal with different things as far as, you have your football, you have your basketball, you have your volleyball or whatever sport it is. But like I said, if you want to be good as a coach, you got to put in that time and effort, not only for the game, but building relationships with the kids. You got to know, if this kid needs some food on this day or whatever, or some clothes. I mean, as coaches, we do some of everything.
That's definitely wear many hats as a coach, and you have to have a great support system at home. Like you said, you spending so many hours, 5 hours after school, practicing in study hall. Then you spend another hour or two at home watching film and things like that. Your support system has to be in place to make all this work.
No question. You know, you need your support system to understand. You know, if you want to be able to sleep at night, you have to be very supportive of the coach. But as a coach, you got to be a time management too.
Yes.
You know, because you got to put in some time. I know when I coach, I tried to put in a lot of time outside the season with my family, but at the same time getting ready for the season.
Yeah.
You know, even though now you have year-round practices.
Yeah.
You know, you don't get paid for outside the season, but you have year-round, and you got to do it because you want to make sure you don't fall behind compared to the other schools. But you also gotta make home happy too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
definitely
trying to, I know for me, you know, carrying my girls to different practices, spending time with my wife, you know, it is, you got to put everything in to be happy.
Definitely. And it's a lot carrying all of that and being a time manager. And I know we talk lots of times about the players being competitive, but coaching is a competitive sport as well, isn't it?
Oh, no question. I mean, when I coach, you're friendly with all the other schools, but you also in your mind, you're trying to beat that school. So the competitive nature sort of takes over. I know for me, when my daughter was growing up, I wouldn't even let her beat me in checkers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
She got to learn. She got to be competitive if she wants to play any kind of sport. You know, nobody's going to give you anything.
Yeah.
So as coaches, you know, you respect the coach, but you're trying to beat that coach also.
Yeah.
And as I've become the AD, I still want to beat them, but now my main focus is not as much beating the team, but making sure the actual event goes right.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? We got to make sure as ADs we work together. So it's not as I'm trying to beat you, as more as I'm trying to make sure this event goes off. You know what I'm saying? With no hitches. But as coaches, you're trying to beat that next person.
Coming up in Wave Athletics, on Monday, we have girls volleyball at Armstrong High School. Game time 6 p.m. On Tuesday, we have middle school girls basketball at Colonial Heights at 5 o'clock p.m. Then we have girls volleyball again on the road to Richmond playing John Marshall. Game time 6 p.m. And at home, we have middle school football versus Brunswick at 6 p.m. On Wednesday, we have cross country at 4:30. And at 6 p.m., we have JV football at home versus rivals Hopewell. On Thursday, we have girls and boys volleyball at Matoka. Girls at 5:45, followed by boys at 7:15. And in the rival matchup in Hopewell, we have the varsity football team taking on the Blue Devils at 7 p.m. Come out and support Wave Athletics. Our coaches, it's funny that you said something about not letting your daughter beat you in checkers. All of our coaches here have kids, you know, and so I can only imagine that competitive spirit that they implant into their kid. And when they are at their kids' games, youth games and things like that, that they're not trying to be over competitive, but being supportive at the same time.
Oh, yeah. Like I'm in that sort of role right now. My daughter's playing volleyball for Matoka. So I want to make sure that she's doing well. The team, I'm supporting the team until they play Petersburg. You know what I'm saying? And then once they play Petersburg, I'm rooting for Petersburg.
Yeah.
But as a parent and a coach, you understand some of the things that's going on that some of the other parents don't.
Yeah.
Like I sit in the stands and I listen to some of the comments, and I can just assume, you know, some of the conversations that went on when I coached.
Oh yeah.
I know people, they question everything I did. You know, which was fine, but I know what my kids can do. You take, for instance, back when I was coaching, I had Jamal Cooper.
Uh-huh.
and Jamar would shoot from some long distance places.
Uh-huh.
And everybody criticized me allowing him to do it.
Yeah.
The only reason why I allow him to do it because I saw him practicing it.
Mm-hmm.
If I see him practicing it and he's successful at it, I know he can do it in the game too. It's it's crazy to say, but coaching is sort of gambling. Because you got to understand sometimes you're gonna give up maybe a shot, but to get a better shot for your team on the other end off of a long rebound.
Yeah.
Or on defense, in order to get steals, you have to gamble a little bit.
Yeah.
And so a lot of my defense was based on when we wanted to gamble.
Yeah.
And you just got to be able to take your shots. That's how much money you're gonna put down on the line.
I definitely understand that, Coach. And again, this is no endorsement of the casino coming to Petersburg at all.
Oh, I didn't think about it.
Yeah. But it would be safe to say that being a coach, whether it's here in Petersburg, anywhere else, you have to have tough skin.
Oh, no question. And for me, because I was brought up in the house of a coach, I saw how my father had to deal with a lot of criticisms. So I did. And it doesn't get to me. For one thing about it, it's only one person, even to this day. People might say, oh, Coach Lawson, he don't do nothing but watch the games. They don't know what I'm doing before the game and after the game.
Yeah.
And it's only one person that can really criticize me, and that's the person in the mirror. Because that person in the mirror knows what you do. You know what I'm saying? They know if you really putting in time or you just trying to get over. And so, a lot of people don't see the extra work that I put in for our kids. One thing about me, I always put our kids first.
Definitely, Coach. And again, moving from coach to AD, you have added not just basketball, you've added the multitude of sports here at the school and some other special activities. And with that added responsibility, how has your life changed from basketball to now being the
AD? It's sort of changed because you go from focusing on one sport as a basketball coach, to now I have 24 sports that I have to deal with. So not only I'm in charge of all of them, but I have those people right up under me that are the head coaches. And I try to make sure I give them what they need. Sometimes what they want, but most of the time what they need. Because I go out and I try to make everything happen for our kids in Petersburg. Because one thing about it, I try to make sure that we look better than everybody. and I try to make sure that we have the things here in Petersburg that you might not have in another place. I was definitely an advocate for us getting turf. I'm an advocate for us getting a new facility as far as the athletic training facility, which is going to help all of our sports. So it's different things that I want for Petersburg to have, and I always try to get it before anybody else can get it.
Definitely, Coach. Like I said, I've traveled with the team. We've been to different high schools in the area. Not to name any names, but it's like, okay, we say a lot of stuff about Petersburg. When you go to some of these other schools, and it was like, okay, this field looks a bit unkept, and where are your fans at? And is that a track, or is that used to be a track? So we've definitely met the mark in a lot of those aesthetic things, and I know that you're steadily working on continuing to upgrade our facilities, especially adding the new athletic facility here. And how could the regular person become a part of helping you reach your vision?
Hey, for one thing, just coming out and conversate. One thing about me, I keep my door open. You always can come and talk, or you can email me at petersburgathletics@gmail.com, and that will come straight to me. And anybody that wants to be part, we welcome it. It's different things that we want to still do. We haven't got to the ultimate yet. I'm trying to do different things, but I must say, if it wasn't for the city, but our school board,
Mm-hmm.
you know, being very supportive and seeing our vision. You know,
Yes.
they see the vision that I have for
Mm-hmm.
athletics. One thing I always tell people when people come to Petersburg, it's three places that they go to.
Uh-huh.
They go to the football field, the gymnasium, and the auditorium.
Uh-huh.
The outside people, those are the three. So I try to make sure, you know, all those things, even though the auditorium is not under me, but I'm also thinking about,
Yeah.
you know, making sure that we have the different upgrades, just so we're not giving anybody a chance to talk bad about Petersburg.
Definitely. Definitely. Coach, I mean, you have done a lot of great things and you continue to do great things in the community and here at the school. So if you have to leave one parting word to our viewers, what would you say?
Come out and support the Crimson Wave. You know, our kids are, as they used to say, our kids are our future. You know, and that's the main thing. Making sure our kids have something better than we had.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, you know, that's how I treat my kids at home. I want them to be in a better place than I was. You know, so the same thing in Petersburg. I want to make sure the kids that we have now are in a better situation than we were 5, 10, 15 years ago.
Definitely. Thanks, Coach. And Coach, this is going to be Coach's Corner is going to be a weekly show, right?
Correct. You know, the one thing I want people to see all of our sports, not just our basketball and football.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're going to highlight basketball and football each week, but I want to bring in our other coaches, you know, because they're doing a great job also. I mean, you have, like I said, 23 sports, you know, as far as it goes from basketball to cheerleaders to, it used to be forensics, now it's speech.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so we've got a state champion in where it used to be forensics.
Yeah.
And then our indoor and outdoor track.
Yeah.
I mean, the last 2 years we've had a state championship individually, both indoor and outdoor. So, you know, it's definitely a point where we're doing some great things. Our kids are doing great things. So we want to honor and we want people to see it. So, you know, it's crazy. This idea was actually brought to me from some alumni of Petersburg,
Mm-hmm.
some past football players that played here. And we were trying to do different things. We talked about maybe doing a breakfast. We talked about doing a dinner where they come out and see the coaches. But just with the rigorous schedules that we have,
Yes.
we really can't do that because they brought it to me as trying to do a fundraiser because they understand in order for us to keep things going, you got to have the monies.
Yeah.
You know, and the one thing I would like to say on, you know, contributions this year, we've had a lot of alumni
Mm-hmm.
support the football team as far as feeding them, giving them snacks and whatnot. So that's been great. Same thing with the cheerleaders. We've had sponsors to give cheerleaders, the McPhersons
Mm-hmm.
and Gary Jones.
Yeah.
They've given money for the cheerleaders for uniforms
Uh-huh.
and different spirit wear. So it's people out there supporting us.
Yeah.
But we just want to, we're trying to get the top dollar so we can get some more things and, you know, better. And it's not just going to go towards one. We're trying to help the whole program. And that's my goal, not just to help one sport, but I can't do for one. I got to do for all.
The weather is starting to change. And what better way to keep yourself warm during those late fall football games? None better than a Crimson Wave Spirit Wrap. You can get your custom Crimson Wave Spirit Wrap for only $75 at the high school. Again, that's only $75 for a Crimson Wave Spirit Wrap. It is two-sided and it's sure to keep you warm during those late fall football games.
Well, thanks to Coach Lawson. Again, this will be a weekly podcast, weekly show that will feature different coaches doing the different seasons. Right now we're in football, and we'll be talking to Coach Scott next week about the homecoming game and how things went. Coach Lawson, again, thank you for your vision, thank you for your leadership, and thank you for your wisdom.
Thank you. We appreciate you. Thank you.
And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our social media pages, Facebook and Instagram at Petersburg Athletics, on X at PHS Athletics 01, and subscribe to our YouTube page, Petersburg Athletics. For updates on game schedules, game times, and game locations, go to www.centraldistrictva.org.